Hello, beer tubers, and welcome to another beer review with me, Peter, the Master of Hoppets, in a different location today. I'm in Amsterdam. I'm at Ego's apartment. Ego is a subscriber of the channel, along with a few other dudes here who also follow. And
Nice beer.
yes, he was like, he had nice beers on Instagram, and he was like, hey, if you're in Amsterdam, you need to come over and we should have a share. And we're doing the share right now, and we just popped a set of Fonteinen Oude Geuze from 15 to 2021. We already tried it, but we saved some glasses so I could do like a quick segment here of trying it. So let's start off with the youngest here, and I don't want to spoil too much already, but it's interesting to see what happens to Lambic with age. But this one, as you see, it's slightly hazy, so this is the final pours of the bottles. It's very bright, acidic. There's still a lot of barrel, some oak. It lacks like that really great balance you get in aged lambic, but it still smells really, really nice. Like quite fruity, lemony, appley, pear. There's a bit of pepper and spice. Yeah, it's quite good. So it's been standing a bit, so the carbonation's died down. It's tart. It feels less sour than in the beginning because we went through so many, so your palate gets accustomed to it. But a touch of that sour apple, pear, lime kind of flavor. There's some oakiness. Not so much funk. It's more like sour fruitiness. But it's a really nice Gueuze. So Oude Geuze from Fonteinen is a blend of different lambic from different producers that they blend together. And yeah, it's tasty. So let's move on to the next one here. This vintage is from 2019. I think it'll be okay. As for the sound, all this people outside. So the 19 here, it's the same color. So this one you're already starting to see age. There's more of a light oxidative aroma to it. But still really bright and fruity. This seems a bit more sour, but I don't know if that's because there's more drakes in the bottle of this one. But it seems a bit more sour. More lemony, more limey. A little bit more of a musty funkiness, but it's still fairly light. But similar like oaky flavors and everything carrying through. It's also really nice. But actually, of those two, I actually prefer the freshest one. Just because this one's a bit more sour. But that's the thing with Lambic, especially Gueuze. All blends are unique and different. So you'll get a different result depending on which blend it is. So moving on here, the label takes a different shape, because they went through a few design changes in the last few years at Fonteinen. And this is the 19 vintage. So actually 219 vintage, but this one, so this is 1920 and this is 19. I think it was before they did the 18-19 season, so it says. So this was bottled in 19. I think this one was 2, or was it? Yeah, I can't find it. Oh yeah, 19. So it's 2 different blends, but from the same year, but the different labels. Also part of the bottom pours, but yeah. Also more oxidative character on this one. I think compared to this one smells like, yeah, it smells like it's going to be more acidic. That one compared to this one smells more balanced. Much more apricot on this one. Much more brightness. Or maybe not brightness, actually more stewed fruitiness. Like stewed apricots or something like that. Also medium levels of funk. But still nice. It's funny because you can see like they get better and better. That's with the vintages. And then the next one here is in this really cool Sen glass. Look at this. I've got to be careful with this. This is one of the Salto glasses, I think. They are a really gentle glassware. So this is a 17. So it's not a full vertical because we're lacking a couple vintages. But still, this is really fun to do it like this. I don't think I've ever done a vertical of this many bottles of Oude Geuze in a row. Yeah, here you're getting much more musty funk, for sure. Much more oak. More of like, it's going into that dried stone fruit. Like this one still has a lot of jammy, the previous one, jammy fruit. But this is going into more of that dried fruitiness. Yeah, much more like sherry type flavor. It's like dried apricots and dried white grapes. To me, it still has a bit of that lime thing and more musty funk. Well, it's funny. It's getting better, and the sourness mellows more over time. But the first ones are also really nice Gueuzes. And jumping on to the really old bottles now, the old paper labels. This is from 16. And also Old Oude Geuze. Colors are pretty much the same on all of them. Yeah, much more wood, much more sherry, much more oak. Interesting, I get a slight metallic vibe on this one. Really woody. This is also the smaller bottles, so it's a bottom pour. So you definitely taste that you got some yeast in there. But when we drank this bottle, without the final pours, it was really damn tasty. It was even more intense oxidative fruitiness and stewed fruitiness compared to the other vintage, the previous one. But yeah, it tastes really nice. It has a bit more of like a intense musty funk, especially the yeast drakes. It actually almost smells a bit like the blue cheese that's on the table, just lightly. And then the final one is the 15, which is, yeah, this one. Man, it's really cool to do this. So all the first two, or the two olders are 6%, and then the ABVs changes on the beers. But yeah, here you get loads of sherry, loads of oxidative flavors. So we had some really old Lambic at the brewery, and this is going in towards the flavors you expect from something like the older Gueuzes. Like when we tried the Herfst, it's similar to something like that. Not as much, but it has a lot of that oxidative sherry, port wine type thing. And I'm really like getting loads of like really dry, musty, old woody cellar type things. The funk's really developed on it. Oh yeah, you can definitely taste that this is not bottom dregs as the other one. Really, really, really well balanced. Perfect balance in acidity, perfect balance in like fruit flavor and funk flavor. This is where it really gets to shine. So 15, how many years ago is that? So 7 years seems to be at least optimal for Lambic or Gueuze. Because this is definitely the best. Would you agree? Yeah. It's definitely got everything you want, like a really nice oak character, really nice oxidative flavors, really nice fruitiness, and really nice funkiness. Because there's next to no funk. There's some, but it's very mild on the youngest compared to this. But yeah, and then the only glass that is not a Fonteinen glass is a Cantillon. Really nice. Thanks so much for doing this, Ego. This is a treat. My favorite. It's pretty much from the back to the front. I think maybe these two could be a bit switched around, but I think it might just be because I'm sitting with a bottom drag right now. But really good. Grades would be really hard because there's so many bottles, but as a whole, I think it would be in the 92-ish range to 95. I'd probably give this 95. I think this is drinking like a world-class Lambic right now, or Gueuze. This is amazing as it is right now. It's got all the balance and everything you want. Really tasty. So there you go. Gueuze needs to be aged to be really, really, really damn good. It's still great with a fresh bottle, but it just mellows and gets really nice with age. So if you guys had a chance to do a vintage vertical tasting like this of Lambic, of Gueuze, that'd be fun to hear. Let me know. And thanks a ton to Ego and the guys for sharing these. It's been great fun. And as always, remember to comment, subscribe, check out the Facebook fan page and Twitter and Instagram. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Ring the bell for future notifications about videos. And I want to say cheers in some delicious Oude Geuze. And see you guys in another beer review.